Hey, hey, hey. How you guys doing? All right. So then I'm sharing the video real quick on my social media um before I get into the subject. So I hope all of you guys doing all right. And we're gonna get it cracking soon. Um, all right. So hold up. Second, guys. Nobody here yet, so all right. Anyways, so let's get it done. Hope everybody's all right. Yesterday I was doing a live stream with him as well as Steven and then Maria Gonzalez. It was actually pretty interesting. We were talking about we were talking about many things, and but one of the subject that we touched upon was the pandemic and how it's actually affected the economy. And I'm not sure if you guys been paying attention. There's a lot of protest that's been going on now that's been sprouting all throughout the states. People want the shutdown to be over, and then you also have the counter protest about those want the shutdown to remain, to um, to basically stay, to stay closed, the economy to stay closed, as the government continues to print more money and stuff. And we have to now look at it because let's face it, right? People in general, they do things because of out of self interest, and sometimes they, even though they do things that is not within their best interest, but however, it may seem to be in their best interest at the time. So that's why we're gonna touch upon the economy, the shutdown of the economy, and who benefit from it and who actually don't. So first, let's talk about who doesn't benefit from the economical shutdown, right? Um, the system is flooded when it comes to unemployment. There's a lot of people that are out of work, and therefore, so when you have a lot of people that are out of work, then things are not being produced. Things are not being produced, then the flow of currency is not keeping up to pace with um with the economy, with the GDP. And for those who don't really understand economy, currency is like you constantly have to keep moving the money. It's a currency. Money is a tool. Money is a tool to which you actually, you buy people's labor. You also buy people's productivity. And however, a lot of us, well, a lot of us tend to believe that, hey, we can print our way out of this situation. However, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have a whole lot of money and not enough things to buy with it. That's why at some point in Germany, when you had inflation skyrocketed, you had those who there's a story, right? In Germany, there was a lady that actually had like that actually had a bucket. I mean, not a bucket. That had a wheelbarrow full of money, right? And then she was trying to buy like a loaf of bread. So then she went to the store to actually, to kind of negotiate the price. And when she come out, somebody actually stole the wheelbarrow and left all the money on the floor. So, I mean, is it gonna be that bad? No, I don't think so. But however, the dollar continues to lose its value, and that's why things are getting more and more expensive. So then the more money we print out, and then we don't have the productivity to kind of keep the inflation down, then therefore all you're gonna have is people with a lot of money and nothing to buy with it. Now, who are the losers in this scenario? If the economy is not working, if you cannot sell your trade, or if you cannot do commerce, the business owners, not the big businesses, because they got money, they can survive for a couple of months. They can also, they're the one that kind of make the rules, so therefore any sort of bailout is going to benefit them. But however, the small businesses are the one that's going to suffer the most. I'm talking about, like, let's say if you employed about 500 people or less, right? And small businesses make up about like what, 50% of, they make up 50% of the economy. So then therefore it's easier for people to look at it and be like, well, you know what, these rich people, they got all the money, they do this, they do that. I mean, listen, they cannot survive for long. If you run like a spa, or if you run like a small mom and pop shop and everything like that, you don't own the building, how long you think you'll be able to remain open? You can't pay your rent, you can't have any sort of businesses, so you have no choice but to close. And then once you close, what are you gonna do? You're gonna have to either start all over again, and which is a headache, or you can now gonna have to work for somebody once the economy open again. And who actually also benefit? The employee, who get hurt in the process? The employees that are now, and receiving unemployment. It's funny because a lot of them believe that they are gaining, because in the bill that just passed, the relief package bills, right? People that are now on unemployment are actually making more money than if they were working, because there's this like extra $600 they give you, plus the $1,200 and stuff like that. And I think that payment is gonna continue for till the economy opens up again. So there was like an article where there was a spa owner, lady. She actually got a loan, for, like, no interest loan and stuff like that, to actually keep her business open. But the condition is she has to keep paying her employees. Just even though they're not working, she has to keep paying those, her employees and stuff like that throughout the time they're not working. Just to keep them employed. And when she actually had a meeting with them, and their employees were furious. They were furious because if they actually filed for unemployment, they would have actually made more money sitting on their ass than they would actually having to remain employed. So a lot of these folks, I mean, if you're looking at it this way, right? Like, is it fair for, like, how can, small business owners compete if if they have to, like, compete with free money? It's bad enough that you have to keep raising the prices of your employees, but if, let's say, you have a system to which you can get paid for sitting on your ass, and versus getting paid for working, which one you think most people are gonna choose? Duh, obviously. you know but now with these employees that actually, or a lot of people that would rather not work, that would actually rather collect the free employment money and stuff. To them, that's a win. you know they believe it is a win. However, how many of these folks you think during the time that they're not working is actually going to start coming up with a plan? So once the economy open, they can now actually go out on their own, or save some of that money, or even come up with some sort of, like, side hustle, maybe, to which, even though they might get back to or they might get back to work, but they can actually now create something that would helped allow them to be the next generation of business owners. Not too many people. Not too many people gonna do that. Also, who does it hurt the most as well if the economy remain closed? Well, let's talk about politics. The Republican. I mean, the whole point of Trump's economy was that, like, one of the talking point was that, it's the best economy ever. The greatest. We have the greatest. We far better than China, and all these other things, right? So now with this economical downturn, and it's hurting. I don't think it's really hurting his chances to become reelected. However, if it continues, because people right now, they do understand, if it wasn't for that virus, the economy would continue, right? Would continue to flourish, so on and so forth. But if this continues, how long do you think people gonna, remain understandable towards his presidency? And that's why now you have this big push with the Democrat wanting to keep the economy closed, because the more they hurt regular people, then the more it actually hurt Trump's chances of actually being reelected. Because poor people are the ones that usually suffer the most, regardless. So then, therefore, they don't really care whether or not you're starving. They don't care about that. You see Nancy Pelosi with his $24,000 fridge and all that stuff. As long as they can, poor people can remain poor for longer, then the more it actually hurt Trump's chances of reelection. You know, Trump is pretty smart. However, I gotta say that puts pressure on his presidency. Now, let's take a look at who does it benefit if the economy remain closed. Hopefully not for too long, but closed for long enough for us to actually take advantage of the situation. Um, who said that again? Chaos is a ladder, right? Littlefinger from Game of Thrones. Chaos is a ladder. So, who would benefit the most as things spiraling out of control, as all these economical downturn and everything like that, right? Well, let's take a look at the first. Let's take a look at the political perspective. Democrats, like I said earlier, if it hurts Trump's chances of reelection, then you can't be surprised they don't want the economy to be open. And then you also have the employees, the one that's actually collecting unemployment, actually collecting more money on unemployment than they would if they were actually working. So then, therefore, they benefit the most from having the economy remain closed. If we also, but these are just short-term gain. But long-term gain, however, investors, new business owners, because we have to look at this as an opportunity of, it's a transfer of wealth. It is a huge transfer of wealth. And we're not even talking about the big corporation that's actually going to start buying out small businesses, because that always happens, and they, of course, obviously they benefit the most. But we have to look at it from the millennial generation. A lot of us, we have a world that has been handed to us with nothing but debt, right? High student loan. We can't even afford to buy houses. We can't even afford to create our own businesses. So there's a lot of things that we cannot do because we're already entrenched in debt. Now, with this economical downturn, you have, the housing market gonna take a huge hit. The housing market is gonna take a really huge hit. Similar to what happened in 2008. And the thing about it, though, if you were not at least ready for it, as far as saving your money, having a nice chunk of down payment, then you won't be able to take advantage of the situation. You know, I was fortunate that I did not buy my house in February, what I planning on doing. But the good thing that I waited, because if I had my house right now, people would probably start missing out on rent. And then I would have to worry about it, like, paying the mortgage and all the other crap, which the whole point of buying a house is for its investment. So then I'm happy that I waited, because now it's gonna take a dive. I don't know how I don't know how low it's gonna be, but hey, I'll take 25% down. I mean 25% or maybe 30% decrease in the housing market. It doesn't have to be 50%. I mean, the lower it is, the better, I would hope. But however, it's millennial people my age or even younger, they you know it would be hard for them to buy houses at the price that it is right now. So then therefore it's if the housing market take a dive, then they would at least not have the chance to benefit from that. And I know the baby boomers, they're panicking, and Gen Xers, some of them are panicking, especially those who thought that the good time will last forever, right? Because the market always go up and down. The market always go up and down, and there's always gonna be a crash. And now we also have to look at paper asset, right? Oh, by the way, full disclaimer: don't take financial advice from me. Just a dude. I'm just speaking out my thought. I'm not a professional, right? So just so you guys know that, I don't want to hear you guys coming through and be like, I listened to art and then you fucked me up. I should have never listened to this one. So I don't want to hear that shit. You do your own research. You increase your own financial IQ. You do your research. You're supposed to learn about a lot of the stuff I'm saying. I'm just talking out of my ass right now, just because I've been doing a lot of studies. I've been reading a lot of books about some of these things because I'm trying to understand the market a lot more. But doesn't mean I'm nowhere near somewhat of a professional or somebody you should actually seek financial advice from. No, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Your own bloody research. Now, as I was saying, um, the stock market. The stock market, like, it took a huge hit. And dude, I was dancing when I first saw the market, like, taking a beating. I loved it. I freaking loved it, man. And I'm looking at it this way: the more it remains down, then the more it gives me the opportunity to continue to buy those stocks like half off, or even sometimes 60, 70% off. I've increased my portfolio drastically. And I'm not just buying everything. I'm buying stocks had, that have seen a lot of, tremendous increase in the past, and that has, good track record for the past year or so and whatnot. And therefore, I'm confident in those stocks. So these are the stocks that I purchased. Now they were actually down. I purchased a whole lot of them. You have oil stocks that are actually, are taking a beating right now because of, not too many people driving. So then, therefore, they had to stop producing oil. ExxonMobil, no, no, not ExxonMobil. Halliburton. I was reading some article yesterday. Halliburton had they laid off a whole bunch of people, right? Because and also like oil prices have went on a negative for the first time in God knows how long. Like the oil price had went like below zero $0 per barrel. That is freaking incredible, man. And now I'm looking and I'm like, should I invest in oil? Should I invest in oil? Yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna invest in oil. Right? So, dude, like it benefit investors. The shutdown of the economy, and it benefit investors because the more we can actually take advantage of the situation right now, the crisis, then the more as the market, bounce back up again, then we're gonna be like, it's gonna be like a huge gain, because human being, a lot of us react based on our emotion. So whenever and we may think that, well, you know what, I don't handle my finances, somebody else is taking care of my financial, my 401ks and whatever, right? Or mutual fund, whatever you have. However, these so-called financial advisors, they're not really investors themselves. They're just employees that just move the money from one, from one stock to the next and whatnot. So then, therefore, they react the same way that most people will react when there's a panic in the market. So therefore, if their job depends on a portfolio to do good, so as soon as the market rattle, what they try to do, they try to quickly quickly move those funds to a safer bet, and then hoping that the stock doesn't continue going down. And that's what most people do. That's why a lot of times the stock continues to dive, and then that's when those who has the money to invest, they would actually come to scoop it up with the low prices. But enough of that. So you have stock investors, right? Paper investing in paper assets. You also have the real estate market. Millennials for the first time in a while gonna be able to actually afford um, you know, decent houses to buy, purchase, or to invest in, stuff like that, right? And then you have new business owners. So as a lot of people lose their businesses, then you're gonna have those that's actually gonna fill up the new, a new class of business owners. So that's why you're gonna see a lot more LLC coming through. You're gonna see a lot more people, I don't know, like doing mask and stuff like that, or some hand sanitizer. You're gonna see a lot of little industry that's just gonna start sprouting out of this whole mess. And who else? Who else is gonna benefit? And yeah, I mean, I think so. What do you guys think? I mean, there's the economy needs to open up. You know, Even though I'm saying that it benefits me at the moment, but I do have family that it doesn't benefit. So then, therefore, I want good things for them as well. I do have friends that are struggling because their job wasn't essential enough. You know, so just because I'm good, just because I'm all right from a financial standpoint, or I'm actually taking advantage of the situation, doesn't mean that I want other people to suffer. So does it benefit me for the economy to remain closed? Yeah, it does. But however, that benefit, if it continues, all that is gonna be lost. What I mean by this is, like, what's the point of getting all those stocks? And then there's a huge depression that actually might take the economy like years and years before it actually recover. And during that time, the political turmoil, the social turmoil would actually, it would outweigh the benefit that some of us gain out of that. So I'm an opportunist, but I'm not a nihilist. So should the economy get a kickstart again? Should the economy open? Yes, it should open. It should. I mean, I took advantage of the situation already. I mean, I can always take advantage of it more. And I'm hoping for the downturn of the um, housing market because I want that to happen. But however, I don't want to get to the point where people are starving. I don't want it to get to a point where, you know, there's no more money for them to actually buy food. They have to sit on the food line. Or better yet, you have farmers that can even sell their crops, you know? So, yeah, the economy needs to be open, man. And that's pretty much all I gotta say. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Um, you think the economy should remain closed? Do you think it should be open? Or I don't know. What do you guys think of the pandemic overall? Just leave a comment down below. Or share, like, comment, and subscribe. All right, peace.